The Team Fortress 2 Iceberg Explained Part 1. Hello everyone, and today I'm going to be making a video on the Team Fortress 2 Iceberg. This one is made by Reddit user Icon, so shout out to you. Anyway, let's get into the video. The 9 classes. So in Team Fortress 2, there are 9 playable classes that you can select from. These classes are Scout, Soldier, Pyro, Demoman, Heavy, Engineer, Medic, Sniper, and Spy. TF2 Comics. So on the official Team Fortress 2 website, you can find a section where they have all the Team Fortress 2 comics. They pretty much explain everything that's not presented in the games. I'll link it in the description below if you wanna read it. TF2 parody songs. So what I think this entry could be referring to is the parody songs made by Black ST, who is a TF2 Gary's Mod YouTuber. Or this could just be referring to people using Team Fortress 2 characters to make parodies of popular songs. Muselk. So I'm sure Muselk doesn't need an introduction. He's a pretty big gaming YouTube channel. Now when he first started, he did Team Fortress 2 content. But then he moved on to Overwatch. Yep, he moved on to a game that was pretty much futuristic Team Fortress 2. Save TF2. So hashtag Save TF2 was a protest that happened earlier this year to try and get Valve to fix some of the issues, in Team Fortress 2, mainly the botting problem. It was so big that most Team Fortress 2 YouTubers, including Moist Critical himself, made a video on hashtag SaveTF2. Achievement maps. Achievement maps are community-made maps in Team Fortress 2 that are made to help you get achievements in the game, which is useful since this game has 500 achievements. TF2 is dead. Okay, so some idiots on the internet who think since the game's been out since 2007, it can't have more than 10 people still playing it. Those types of people. But no, Team Fortress 2 is not dead. It still has a sizable player base and is up there with one of the most played games on Steam. Random crits. So whenever you're attacking someone, there's a chance that a random crit could happen. So what a random crit is that, when you shoot at someone, the bullet could cause more damage than it usually would. It's become a meme in Team Fortress 2, like to say that, they're balanced. Screen Fortress. Screen Fortress is the Halloween event that happens in October, which is obviously the same month as Halloween. But anyway, it adds a couple new cosmetics, a couple new maps, and a brand new game mode. Prop Hunt. So Prop Hunt was a fan-made game mode made by Dark Immortal. And what you would do is that you would spawn as a prop and you would have to go around the map and hide, and then there would be hunters and they would have to kill the props within a certain time limit. CP Orange. CP Orange is a very popular Team Fortress 2 community made map. It started off as a Day of Defeat map, but once Team Fortress 2 came out, they ported it to Team Fortress 2 and it's just gained popularity. Hat economy. Team Fortress 2 has a massive economy when it comes to hats. Some hats are pretty cheap, and some hats go for about $14, which, if you ask me, for a virtual hat is pretty expensive. Anyway, there are so many hats in Team Fortress 2 to the point where Team Fortress 2 has became the world's first and only war-themed hat simulator. Uncle Dane. So Uncle Dane is a Team Fortress 2 YouTuber who mainly plays Engineer. And that's about it. Gabe N. Gabe N, short for Gabe Newell, is the founder of Valve and also the creator of Team Fortress 2. Subclasses. So within the 9 classes of Team Fortress 2 there are subclasses, which are pretty much a class of one of the characters, but they have different weapons. There's actually quite a bit of them, but I'll just go over the most popular. The most popular are Trollgers, Hoovies, Fat Scouts, and Turtle Engineers. Jailbreak. Jailbreak is a custom game mode that is based off a Counter-Strike game mode of the same name. What you have to do is that there are two teams. One team is a prison officer, the other teams are, the inmates, and the inmates have to escape, and the prison officers have to make sure that the inmates don't escape. Meet the Team. The Meet the Team videos were created both to tell us more about the characters and to promote the game. There were about 10 videos released for each character. But wait, there are only 9 classes. So who's the 10th video for? Miss Pauling, the Administrator, Saxton Hale, Redmond, and Blue Tark Man? No. It was for the Sandwich, an item in the game. Not a person, an item. Dodgeball. Dodgeball is a custom game mode in Team Fortress 2 where a rocket with crits on it is shot, and then a pyro on the other side has to deflect the rocket onto the other side. Just like Dodgeball. 2 Fort. Okay, I'm sure every Team Fortress 2 player knows the map 2 Fort, but for those of you who don't know, 2 Fort is a capture the flag map where it has 2 forts, and the aim of the game is to capture the enemy's intelligence 3 times. However, just like with the other capture the flag maps, there is no time limit, which means games can last for as long as they want. So yeah. Long maps! So on the workshop there are a couple maps based on maps that are in Team Fortress 2 that have been extended for fun, I guess. Minecraft maps. So on the workshop there are a couple maps that are either, just general Minecraft maps or Team Fortress 2 maps that have been turned into Minecraft versions of them. Versus Saxton Hale. Versus Saxton Hale is a game mode in Team Fortress 2 where one player will play as Saxton Hale, and that player has a ton of health, and they have to take down the other team, which is just the normal 9 classes, and they can only use their fists, which also do a ton of damage. Australium. Australium is a type of gold that is only found in Australia. Now this is very rare in Team Fortress 2, as it can coat any gun you have. I'm gonna include these two since they're mostly the same thing. Anyway, a face stab is when a spy manages to get a backstab even though they stabbed the person from the front, and a trick stab is when a spy manages to get a backstab from an enemy that knows that they're a spy. Saxy Awards. The Saxy Awards is pretty much the Team Fortress 2 version of the Oscars. So what will happen is that there will be a group of people and they will compete to make the best SFM animation. And whichever one Valve deems to be the best, they will hand out this award, which is a weapon in Team Fortress 2. Whenever you kill someone with it, they'll turn to gold. Administrator and Miss Pauling. Administrator and Miss Pauling are 2 characters that are in Team Fortress 2, but we never see them, we only hear them. Miss Pauling is the one that gives us the jobs to do, and the Administrator is the person we hear over the speakers telling us how much time is left in a match, or whether the enemy is capturing something. Manpower and Pastime. Manpower and Pastime were both Team Fortress 2 game modes. Manpower was capture the flag, except you would need a grappling hook to get around, and Pastime was pretty much the Team Fortress 2 version of soccer. PL_Whatville_event. Whatville is a Smithmas themed map that is based on the town Whoville from How the Grinch Stole Christmas. Now, one thing about this map is that since it's so large, it requires a lot of rendering, and therefore you won't get as good FPS on that map as you would with other maps. Germa and Star. Germa and Star are a couple of Team Fortress 2 YouTubers. Star, however, seems to be the one that's better at the game than Germa. Scrap.tf. Scrap.tf is a Team Fortress 2 website where you can sell or trade your Team Fortress 2 items. Back in 2016 there was a bit of a glitch, or maybe it was a glitch, where unique items would just be sold for a normal price rather than, a bit more expensive like they should be. The bot crisis. If you were on Team Fortress 2 back in 2020, 2021, and even this year as well, you've most likely come across a server with these. These are bots, pretty much hackers. They are snipers that will spin around, and despite not aiming at you, they will still instantly kill you if you come into their general range. Now, it has mostly been sorted out. I mean, there are still a bit of bots in every server, but there's only like one or two that you can easily kick from the game. But back in 2020, this was a serious problem. Unfinished Valve maps. So what I think this entry is referring to is the map Powerhouse, which was originally made right around the time of Team Fortress 2's release, but wasn't released until the Gunmetal update in 2015. Now, the reason why I think it's referring to this is because there are multiple parts in the map that just feel unfinished, and there's also the fact that both red and blue's bases are made out of concrete, because red is usually the wooden, fort. But I don't know, it could be referring to something else. Meet Your Match disaster. So when the Meet Your Match update came out, there were a ton of problems. One of them being the fact that you had to wait a long time to get into a game. And by a long time, I don't mean like 10 minutes. Some people said that it took upwards of 9 hours. Yeah, you heard me, 9 hours to get into a game. Not only that, but there was also some other glitches, and it was pretty much the same game, just with a rank system. So not many people were thrilled about this. It also came out right around the time that Overwatch was out, so yeah. Times 10. Team Fortress 2 times 10 is a mod for Team Fortress 2. Now, it's an insane mod. You shoot 10 times faster, you reload 10 times faster, your gun causes 10 times more damage. It's a pretty insane mod. Lamaubox. Lamaubox is a cheating software for Team Fortress 2. It allows you to see where all the enemies are, even through walls. Now, of course, since this is a cheating software, you will get banned if you are caught using this cheat. Surf maps. So surf maps are game modes where you have to glide along these two structures along a map without falling off. Now, these are more popular in the game CSGO than they are in Team Fortress 2, but yeah. Cheater's Lament. The Cheater's Lament is a cosmetic item for all classes that was given out to players who did not use the idling program glitch in 2009. It's pretty much a halo around the player's head. T-pose glitch. So there's a glitch that can make you T-pose, well, it's more of an A-pose in Team Fortress 2. Now what you'll need to do is that you'll need to kill yourself and empty out all your ammo once you respawn, and then pick up the gun that was on the floor after you killed yourself, and you're now A-posing. These types of players are called the civilians, and they're generally friendly, mainly because they can't do anything. Community competitive leagues. Community competitive leagues are the community server version of the competitive servers. It's mainly the same except for the fact that there's only about 6 people on each team. The Man Family. The Man Family is the entire reason we have Team Fortress 2. The two brothers, Redman and Bluetalk Man, were fighting over how much land they would have after their father's death, so they hired the mercenaries to see who would get the land. Then there's Grey Man, the long-forgotten third brother. He hired the machines, or built the machines, to take over Manco. Manco's store prices are a scam. So there are some people out there who think that the prices on the Manco store are a scam. I mean, some of these items like earbuds and Santa hats go for more than $10. And then there's a golden frying pan that goes for $6,000, $6 grand for a golden frying pan. Now it's up to you if you think those prices are reasonable, but 6 grand for a golden frying pan, jeez. War update. The War update was an update for Demo Man and Soldier in Team Fortress 2, released back in 2009. Now this was a pretty big update, and it added quite a bit of stuff. So I won't go over everything, but two of the most notable things are the kill counter being added to the game. So due to this, Valve held a contest to see which class, Demoman or Soldier, could get the most kills, and Soldier won. Soldier got 6,406,065 kills, while Demoman only got 6,372,979 kills. There was another contest called the Propaganda Contest, where people would design the best propaganda poster for either Demoman or Soldier, and this is the one that won the contest. Jump maps. So jump maps are pretty similar to surf maps, except they're meant for Soldier, and Soldier will get around the map rocket jumping all over the place, and that's about it. Randomizer. The randomizer is a mod for the game, so what will happen is that you will be spawned in as a random class along with some random weapons. Now there is no limit to what a weapon could be. For example, a scout could be given a medic gun, a spy could be given a minigun, so pretty much there's no restrictions. Class Warfare. Class Warfare is a mod where one team will play as a specific class and the other will play as a different class, and that's about it. Most of the game stays the same. Entering enemy spawn room. So in the game, there's a barrier at both spawn rooms for both teams to prevent the other team from getting in and just killing everyone. However, there was a glitch in the game where you could get into the enemy's room, and what you would need to do this is that you would need to get one person from one team and one person from the other team to stick very close together to the point where they're pretty much almost no clipping into each other, and then slowly make their way into the enemy spawn room, and then somehow they would be in there. Civilian. So originally in Team Fortress 2 there was supposed to be a character called the Civilian, and it was just what the name is, a civilian. He would have low health and no weapons. Now in the game Team Fortress 2 Classic, which is all the stuff that was going to be in Team Fortress 2 but didn't, you can actually play as him. Idling. So when you go idle in Team Fortress 2, you pretty much don't do anything, you just sit there. It's the exact same as going AFK. Now I wouldn't recommend doing this, as you will get kicked from the game if you do this. Art style degradation. So some people believe that as Team Fortress 2 has gone on, the art style has gotten ruined. This is because of all the new cosmetics that don't really fit the style of Team Fortress 2. Now I can kind of see where they're coming from, but I also kind of like the cosmetics, so I'm in between on this one. Game Banana. So Game Banana is a website where you can publish a bunch of mods for different games. Now the reason why this is on here is because there is quite a bit of Team Fortress 2 content on this website. So while I'm here, might as well cover these two entries, Delphi and Bunny. So Delphi and Bunny are two popular Team Fortress 2 YouTubers. Pyro's gender. Okay, I think I've said this in at least 3 of my videos now, but no one knows what gender the Pyro is. Some people believe it's a girl, since there's a purse with a flower on it in the Pyro's locker case. And then there's the fact that the Pyro sees the world as like this massive candy land with unicorns all over the place. And then there's the fact that the Team Fortress Classic Pyro was a girl. However, there is some evidence that the Pyro is a boy. For example, the Pyro is 5'8" and doesn't really have a girl stature. And the voice actor for the Pyro is a boy, but that doesn't really prove much. So, unless we get a Team Fortress 3, we may never know. Vampyro. Vampyro is just a pyro that definitely looks like a girl, and I recommend that you don't Google this. Community events and medals. So there are multiple events held for the community in Team Fortress 2. Stuff like Rally Call, Jingle Jam, and Black Bash. There are also a ton of medals that can be won by doing stuff in game. Arena mode. Arena mode is a game mode where the two teams have to fight to the death, and there is no respawning. Once you're dead, you're dead. Whichever team manages to kill the other team first wins. Crossover with other games. So Team Fortress 2 has made an appearance in other games like Left 4 Dead. However, probably the most popular example of this is in the game Poker Night at the Inventory, where Heavy is one of the characters. It's actually here that we learn that Heavy has a PhD in Russian literature. Meet the Amazing Team. Meet the Amazing Team is an animation series by Pymations, where the Team Fortress 2 characters do weird things and dominate the other team. Female mercs. So since 90%, if not all, the mercenaries in Team Fortress 2 are male, a mod was created to make these mercenaries female, and that's about it. Dupes. So a dupe is short for duplicate, and a duplicate is a copy of an original item in Team Fortress 2. Now what some people will do is that they'll scam people into thinking that they're buying or trading an original item, when in reality they're just getting a duplicate of an item. Spy is Scout's father. Now Spy being Scout's father is heavily debated in the community. Now Scout claims that his father is Tom Jones, but Tom Jones is born in 1940 and Scout was born in 1945. Which would mean that Tom Jones is 5 years old when he had Scout. However, there is quite a bit of evidence suggesting that Spy is instead Scout's father. In fact, in Meet the Spy, we find out that Spy has been having sexual intercourse with Scout's mother. Heavy update. So the Heavy update was an update for Team Fortress 2 back in 2009. It added a bunch of stuff, including the sandwich, Natasha, and the killing gloves, as well as the arena mode, game mode, and a couple new maps. Death Run. So Death Run is a game mode in Team Fortress 2 where you have to navigate through a map without getting into any of the traps placed across the map. SV Pure 1. SV Pure 1 is a console command that will make sure everything in a server, such as sounds, materials, and models, will meet the specific requirements for the client machine. So pretty much any sort of modification in the game will be removed to make sure it's all good. Tip of the Hat. Tip of the Hat is a live-streamed charity event in Team Fortress 2 held by Valve. Its purpose is to entertain the viewers and to collect donations for Camp One Step. Camp One Step is a non-profit organization that sends kids with cancer to camp. Valve weapons. So if you work for Valve and you're gonna play some Team Fortress 2, then you better get ready to dominate the other team, because that's what's gonna happen. Valve employees get some serious advantages in the playing field when it comes to their weapons. Just take a look at all the stuff they get here and this gameplay. Now, whether or not this is fair is up to you, but I don't think you'll have to worry about this. The chance of you running into a Valve employee in a match is pretty low. Slender Fortress. Slender Fortress is a fan-made game mode that is based off the Slender Man games. One team, Red, will be sent out to look for the pages, while they only have their melee weapons and a flashlight, which can run out of battery if it's used enough. Then there's Blue Team, which is pretty much Slender Man. They will be sent out to find and kill any Red Team members. Scout is Germa. Earlier I mentioned Germa and Star. On that YouTube channel, they made a series called Jerma is Mad, where Jerma would get mad whenever he's killed in the game. Now this got so popular that Valve decided to make Scout's real name Jeremy. Man, bro, why don't we make Pyro's real name Flaming Cow? Why am I speaking in a Mexican accent? Golden wrenches. A golden wrench is a super rare item in the game. It's the basic wrench, but it's made out of Australium. It pretty much works the exact same way as a normal wrench, but whenever you kill someone with it, they will turn into a statue of gold. Now, this is a very rare wrench. In fact, there's only 78 golden wrenches in Team Fortress 2. Good luck trying to find one. The Hidden. The Hidden is a fan-made game mode in Team Fortress 2 where one player will play as a blue spy, while everyone else will play as anything except a blue spy. Now the blue spy has some advantages such as infinite invisibility, being able to leap over things, and being able to climb onto walls. Now the Hidden does have a hunger meter which will go down unless he kills someone, and whenever someone is killed, they will become a ghost. Pretty interesting game. Damage ramp and fall off. Damage ramp is the amount of damage dealt when you're closer to the enemy, and damage fall off is the amount lost when you're farther away to the enemy. Geel9. Geel9 is a Team Fortress 2 gamer who created the websites scrap.tf and marketplace.tf. Now, some people seem to hate him. According to what I could find, they hated him because he never replied to the complaints about people not getting their money back. Hidden rooms on official maps. So there are some hidden areas on official maps in Team Fortress 2. Most of them are just little secrets that you can find if you no-clip into those areas. Nothing much else. Balloon race. So balloon race is a strange map where both teams will ride in a hot air balloon to capture control points. Mass AI. Mass AI is when someone spawns in a bunch of AI and does whatever they want with it. Robin Walker. Robin Walker was one of the people who worked on the very first ever Team Fortress game. He also worked on Team Fortress Classic and Team Fortress 2.
Rick May was the person who voiced the soldier in Team Fortress 2. However, back in 2020, he died of COVID-19. Tons of fan art was made to honor his death. Valve themselves even added a couple things. Rick May.
Custom configs and launch options. So the custom configs option is when you want to customize your game, stuff like graphics and stuff. And the launch options are ways that can change your gameplay, like skipping the Valve intro and getting slightly better FPS. Fort Wars. Fort Wars is a mod in the game where there will be a time limit, and within that time limit, two teams have to construct a base. Once that time limit is over, the two teams have to try and steal the enemy's intelligence. MGE. MGE is short for My Gaming Edge, which is a mod for the game. It's supposed to help you get better at your deathmatching skills. So there will be two players, and the first player to get the 20 points wins the match. In order to get points, you need to kill the enemy. Unused kill icons. Yeah, there are some unused kill icons for different weapons. What else can I say? Random bullet spread. So when you shoot an enemy from distance, the area that the bullets hit are randomized. This mainly happens with a shotgun, and you can see this better when you hit a wall. Now, some players hate this because they think it's unfair. But what do you think about bullet spread? TFC. TFC is short for Team Fortress Classic, which was the first ever Team Fortress game released back in 1999. In fact, the Team Fortress Classic characters are actually canon in Team Fortress 2. You can see them in the Team Fortress 2 comics. While the game is mostly dead, there is a small community in Team Fortress Classic, but it's very toxic. Community MVM maps. Yeah, there are some custom man versus machine maps. However, these ones are usually not gotten off the workshop and are usually gotten off a website called potato.tf, which is a website that is made to create man vs. machine maps. Spanish, Russian, German, and French dubs. Yeah, there are French, German, Russian, and Spanish dubs. The lines are mostly the same, with a couple changes here and there. However, there is one notable thing about the German dub for Meet the Soldier. Whenever someone explodes or blood is just shown in general, it is swapped out for oil and springs, which is supposed to indicate that these things are robots, which is kind of confusing for the storyline of man vs. machine, but we won't get into that. Anyway, it's strange since the other German dubs for the Meet the Team videos don't really have any censoring at all. CL interp. CL interp is a console command that will speed up any sort of delays with any sort of weapons, such as the rocket launcher or the huntsman. Now, this will only help you slightly, but depending on your situation, it could save you. Gas passer is OP in man vs. machine. So the gas passer is very overpowered in man vs. machine. However, you need to get the upgrade explode on ignite, which will pretty much explode the robots when they come into contact with the gas passer. So if you're playing pyro and you have this enabled, you are going to get a lot of kills. However, because of this, a lot of players hate the item because the pyro gets all the kills and they don't. Telefrags. A telefrag is a type of death that happens when, well, let's say someone from the blue team is standing on a red team exit teleporter, and someone from the red team uses that teleporter. Once the red team member teleports to that area that the blue team member is standing on, the blue team member will die because of something. Hidden update pages. Yeah, there is actually quite a bit of hidden update pages for Team Fortress 2. Here's a list of a couple of them. Zombie Escape and Zombie Survival. Zombie Escape is a fan-made game mode where one team has to run away from a bunch of zombies in a race. And Zombie Survival is also a fan-made game mode where there are a group of survivors, red engineers, and the zombies, aka the blue medics. Whenever a red engineer is killed, they will turn into a zombie. TF2ware. TF2ware is a fan-made game mode based on WarioWare. So there will be a bunch of players, and each player will be randomly assigned a class and a minigame. Players will also be forced to use a specific gun, and they can't use their melee weapon. Then there will be a massive boss fight. Comments in TF2 code. So in the code for Team Fortress 2, you can find some comments left by the developers of the game. Most of them saying how much they don't like coding or how much they hate their job. Now, whether or not you think this is a joke left by the developers is up to you. However, there is quite a bit of these comments in the code, so it is possible that these developers really do just hate coding in general. TacoBot and PizzaBot. TacoBot and PizzaBot were both bots that would play man versus machine. Now, the reason these bots were created was so they could kick players who they didn't deem good enough at the game. Yeah, they would kick random players because they weren't good enough. Wow. All mercs have 100 metal. So in Team Fortress 2, metal is used to craft things. But for this entry, all mercs have 100 metal. I have no idea what it's referring to. So if you guys have any ideas, let me know. Badwater Videos 2009 and Gunslinger Pro 2009. Badwater Videos 2009 and Gunslinger Pro 2009 are two Gmod ARG channels that focus on the Team Fortress 2 ragdolls actually being alive, and the player using them and forcing them to participate in Gmod machinimas for either fun or for YouTube reasons. Now, if you want a better explanation on these channels, I recommend you check out Richter Overtime's videos on them. Heavy's Past. Heavy's past is something alright. When Heavy was in school, he had to pick whether he would herd goats or box other kids. He chose boxing since he was not good at herding goats. Then Heavy's dad was killed and Heavy's family was sent to a gulag. However, the place burns to the ground and Heavy and his family escape. Then Heavy became a mercenary. Apple and Linux crossovers. Yep, you can get Team Fortress 2 on Apple and Linux computers. Blocking headshots with the medic call. Yep, there is a big glitch in TF2 where if you call out medic as you're about to be shot by a sniper, the medic call will block most of the shot. This is because when you call out medic, your character will move its hand up to its head. The hand will block most of the shot and you will manage to survive. Weaponizer custom weapons. The Weaponizer is a mod for TF2 where it will introduce a bunch of new and weird weapons for the game. Joule Source Vibe Cooker collab. So the Joule Source Vibe Cooker is a cooking appliance that will cook your food at the perfect temperature. Now you might be wondering, why the hell does this $200 cooking item I have never seen in my life have something to do with TF2? Well, I'm glad you asked that, dear viewer. So there was a collab between Valve and the company that made this item. Once you bought the item, you would get a code. Once you redeemed the code, you would unlock a taunt called the Boiling Point. It was pretty much the Table Tantrum taunt, but with the Joule Source cooker in it. So if you want this taunt, you're going to have to spend $200 on the item. Crit heals. So crit heals are a type of crit that will only happen if you are healing someone. This works when someone on your team has been shot. Now if you wait a while, like 15 seconds after they have been shot, the amount of HP given to the injured person will be doubled. War 3 mod. War 3 mod is a mod for TF2. Most of the game stays the same, however, every time you kill someone, you will get XP points. Get enough XP and you'll be able to spend it on talents. Some of these talents are Night Elf, which will give you a chance to evade a gunshot from an enemy, Shadow Hunter, which will heal your teammates around you, and Lich, which will reduce your enemy's speed. Create Depression. So what I think this entry is trying to say is the Crate Depression, which was an event in TF2 where players would exploit a bug so they could unlock unusuals every time they unlocked a crate. Hence the name Crate Depression. Team Fabulous 2. Team Fabulous 2 is a Gmod machinima made by the late, great Kitty0706. Rest in peace. The video is about the Team Fortress 2 characters doing crazy and wacky things in a Super Mario map. For some reason. Fight songs. Fight songs are the soundtrack to the game. Sometimes they will be playing in the background of the Meet the Team videos, and other times they will be playing in the main menu. And sometimes they will be in the game itself. Negating the slowdown effect. The slowdown effect is an effect in the game that will be applied if you're using a certain weapon or you're being attacked by a certain weapon. But for the entry negating the slowdown effect, I'm not sure what it could be referring to. Maybe the slowdown effect has been changed over time? Let me know in the comments, fellas. TF2 Freaks. TF2 Freaks is some Gmod machinima characters made by some YouTubers back in 2008. They are based off the Team Fortress 2 characters. Now there are a lot of these characters, but the ones that I know of are Porkineer, Christian Brutal Sniper, and Painless Cupcake. Scout's Amazing Adventures. Scout's Amazing Adventures is a Gmod machinima series created by Eldoro64 Russ. The series is about Scout and his friends going on an adventure through the different TF2 maps, but for most of the series, Scout is replaced with the Burnt Citizen model from Half-Life 2, because in the first episode, Scout was burnt. It's a pretty good series, I recommend you should check it out. Park War Fortress. Park War Fortress is a mod for TF2 where you will play as Scout and you'll have to parkour across different maps. Poker Night at the Inventory. Poker Night at the Inventory is a game where you would play poker against different characters from different media. The most notable thing about this game is the inclusion of Heavy. It is actually in this game that we learn more about his past and the fact that he has a PhD in Russian literature. Now if you got this game, you could unlock certain items in TF2, but Poker Night at the Inventory has been taken off Steam, so good luck trying to get these items. Original Mercs. So I think this entry is referring to the original mercenaries in Team Fortress Classic. Those characters are TFC Scout, real name Greg, TFC Soldier, real name Ross, TFC Pyro, real name Beatrice, TFC Demo Man, real name unknown, TFC Heavy, real name Chevy, TFC Engineer, real name Fred, TFC Medic, real name unknown, TFC Sniper, real name Virgil, and TFC Spy, real name unknown. Longest possible item name. The longest item name in TF2 is called the somewhat threatening sophisticated professional killstreak Carbonado Bot Killer Sticky Bomb Launcher MK1. And this is what it looks like. There are only 3 female characters with official 3D models. Yep, there are only 3 female characters in TF2 that have official 3D models. The most obvious one being Miss Pauling, then there was Scout's mom, seen in Meet the Spy, and then there was the fried chicken girl in Exploration Date. Abraham Lincoln invents stairs. Yep, you heard that correctly. In the Team Fortress 2 universe, Abraham Lincoln invented stairs. This was because before the invention of stairs, people would rocket jump their way up to things. It's weird, I know. Halloween spells. Halloween spells are spells that are given out during Scream Fortress. They can give you different effects like paint effects, vocal effects, footprints effects, and weapon effects. Players shoot from their eyes. Yep, players do indeed shoot out of their eyes. This can be seen better with heavy, if you find an area where your head will stick out, but not your minigun. If you start shooting at that area, you will notice that the bullets will hit the area that you're looking at, and not the wall. It just looks like you're firing out of your minigun because of the effect. This can give you a major advantage in the playing field. Gang Garrison 2. Gang Garrison 2 is an 8-bit 2D version of TF2. Unique quality strange weapons. Strange weapons are weapons that keep track of how many people you've killed with it. Unique weapons are the quality of weapons that can be found through item drops, crafting, or the Manco store. Now there are some weapons that have both of these. An example of this would be the Bonk Atomic Punch. TF2 player count is inflated. So some people believe that the player count shown on the Steam charts is faked and there are not many people playing Team Fortress 2 at the moment. Proof of this is shown on the website teamwork.tf, which shows possibly the real amount of players playing Team Fortress 2. Now I will leave a link to the YouTuber Casper, who did a good job explaining this topic. Hobble Hotel. Hobble Hotel is a fan-made map in TF2. It's based off the online game Habbo. Now this map is extremely weird, with a bunch of weird features and memes from like 2006. Finished CP Orange. So earlier I discussed the map CP Orange. One thing that you will notice about the map is that it doesn't have real textures, and instead it just uses the dev textures. Due to this, some people have made some finished maps of CP Orange. Disciplinary action can hit people from behind you. The disciplinary action is a weapon for Soldier. It can indeed hit people from behind, which can be useful if a spy is about to kill you. According to what I could find, the reason why it does this is due to the increased range. I'm gonna skip this one. TF2 Xbox 360 port. Yeah, there's an Xbox 360 port of TF2. The same also goes for the PlayStation 3. Real Righteous Bison. The Righteous Bison is a secondary weapon for Soldier. Now there is actually a real life version of this gun that you can buy on eBay, but sadly, you won't be able to kill people with it. Engineer's Toolbox is a hidden weapon. So I have no idea what this entry could be referring to. There was nothing relating to Engineer's Toolbox being a secret weapon that I could find. But one thing that popped into my mind while I was researching this is that maybe the reason why Engineer's Toolbox is a secret weapon is because since we can place down other weapons using the toolbox, and we can only get the toolbox using the construction PDA, that it would kind of make it a hidden weapon. Maybe that is what the entry would be referring to. Hit scan weapons become inaccurate after first shot. So the hit scan in TF2 will become completely inaccurate after about one shot using an automatic gun. You can see this better in this clip from a YouTuber named Jane. So as you can see, the bullets do not do any damage after the first shot. Broken MVM upgrades. Yep, there are some glitched man vs machine upgrades in the game. Some of them affect how fast you can shoot, and others just glitch out entirely. TF2 Monopoly. Yes fellas, there is indeed Team Fortress 2 themed Monopoly, which sadly is currently unavailable. But a game of TF2 Monopoly would probably take as long as a match on 2 Fort. TF2 Australia is a superpower. So I think this entry is supposed to say Australium and not Australia, but Australia can give you certain powers like letting you live longer or making you stronger. Coaching. Coaching is a feature in TF2 added back in 2011. The feature allows you to become a coach or find a coach. As a coach, you can teach new players or students skills, like killing the enemy or capturing objectives. If you're new to the game, then you can get a coach and learn how to play the game. Huntsman built-in aimbot. The Huntsman is a bow for the sniper. Now the Huntsman actually does have a built-in aimbot. I think this is because the Huntsman doesn't have a scope on it, so Valve made it a bit easier to get kills using it. TF2 on Source 2. TF2 on Source 2 is a fan-made game mode for the game Sandbox, which is pretty much Gary's mod 2. Since Sandbox is running on Source 2, people have made TF2 on it, and from the gameplay I've seen, it looks pretty good. Can't wait until Sandbox fully comes out so I can play it. Kritzcrast. Kritzcrast is a popular Team Fortress 2 YouTuber / streamer. As for the reason why he's this low on the list, I have no idea. Spy and Pyro are broken. Okay, I could not find much on Spy and Pyro being broken. I could find some things on Pyro being broken because of how overpowered his weapons are. Oh, I'm sorry, its weapons are. We don't know its gender. But as for Spy, I have no idea. CP Cloak. CP Cloak is a weird test map made by Valve. Yeah, it's made by Valve themselves. There is another map like this just called Cloak, which is used to test the spy's cloak ability. But for CP Cloak, I'm not sure. Maybe it is used to test what would happen if a cloaked spy tried to cap a control point, but I'm not sure. What do you think this map was made for? Cut weapons. Okay, I could make an entire video on cut weapons from Team Fortress 2, but to keep this video short, here's a list of a couple of them. DM_SDM. DM_SDM is a weird fan-made map for TF2. It is supposed to look like your classic haunted house, but the map also has some weird Easter eggs in it. Soldier is a war criminal. Soldier being a war criminal is something that is heavily debated in the TF2 community. I mean, he did go on a Yahtzee killing spree after World War II had ended, but what do you think? Is Soldier truly a war criminal? Obscure NPCs. So there are some NPCs in TF2 such as the robots, but for the entry obscure NPCs, I have no idea. Perhaps a hidden NPC that I don't know about? Overtime Fan Game. Overtime Fan Game is a TF2 version of the game Undertale, where you will play as Miss Pauling. 2007 game version and graphical downgrades. Now I put these two together since they're pretty much the same thing. The 2007 release of TF2 had a couple things different to the game that we got now, and graphical downgrades. Now it all depends on whether you think shading or lighting is a graphical downgrade or not. And that was part 1 of the Team Fortress 2 Iceberg. Now when I started editing this video, I wanted to cover the entire Iceberg, but I only got a couple days left until the holidays end, so I will just end it here for now. This video took me about 12 days to edit, so we're just gonna say 2 weeks. which is the longest time it's ever taken me to edit. Now, I would really appreciate it if you guys could like and subscribe, because it took me a very long time to research, edit, write script, and record for this video. If this video gets to 20 likes, then I'll do a part 2 covering the other 2 tiers. Anyway, shout out to Icon for making this iceberg, and I'll see you in another video. Bye bye.